I learned a little bit about Python and how I can basically divide text inside my program, and I can, for example, find just a specific part on a big text, or I can split it in different sentences. And let me show you how. Well, first I have, well, actually two codes we have here. So one is text, where I, well, as an overview, basically inside this code I can split in various ways. As you can see here, I'm splitting this text, just this text, Leah and Han Solo, in multiple ways, as you can see. And find and conquer is just a way as I am, well, splitting my code in various sentences. Or I have, the teacher, well, he deleted the part here that I commented, but just want to show because it's kind of different. You can run this code and it shows, well, for what I understand here, it basically shows the how much after, how many letters are after O. Actually, I very don't understand because how much extra letters are after O. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ah, yes, now I understand why. It finds the O, how many letters are between the two O's inside Python. Well, let's get to the first one, then I go to the second one. Here I am entering the variable text. Text is a string variable, meaning it holds, well, strings, or more specifically, it holds text. So, for example, if there was a math equation here, like 1, instead of everything here, it was just 1, I couldn't do a 1 plus 1 with it because, well, it's a string. It's considered as one, as not a number but as a text. So if I do 1 plus 1, it results as 11, not as, well, 2. So I have here, and I have Leah and Han Solo as a, well, test ground. And here in the comment, I have kind of the layout of how the code reads this sentence. So I actually need to go a little bit like this, because I'm basically doing a rundown on how it reads. So the first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, 8, 9, and 10th digits, and that reads. So it goes to 1 to 10, and then 1 to 10. It resets to 1 to 10, and does this as it reads. So for example, it goes to 10 around here, and then it resets. So basically, right below it, and this is actually not new numbers, they are just here just so they're not necessary. And right below it, I am, well, reading the text in a very specific way. So let's comment my code here. So I can be, so I'm just going to need to explain one per time. Here it's Lee. Why it reads Lee? Well, because it's reading from Lee, and specifically it's reading from the first one, as you can see, 0, and then the fourth, actually. So what basically it does is that it uses, and it takes the first character and it takes the third character. As you can see, it takes L, and I, and you can see here that, well, the only letters, well, are from Leah. So you can see the L is the first and E is the third. So it just basically says that print the parts of the text in the first and the the third character. That's basically what it says. I did really quick fast test basically to see what exactly the second one does, and it just prints from the ninth character and over. So basically, it goes one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine. From the ninth and so forth to the end of the sentence, it prints everything. So you can see here for the ninth, which is age, and it just prints the rest. So you just don't need to specify it. So it just goes and so. If I put a tenth, for example, here, it will just probably print H A or just 8 H. So yeah, it just prints H, for example. And so I'm just taking basically. So here I taking two specific characters, and then I am printing a specific. I'm printing just from 1.4. Now, in my third print section, I have one which is negative, which is kind of weird, but basically it does the same thing. It prints and so, but from what I understand, it does the countdown backwards. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Exactly. It does the counting uh, from the other end. Basically, you can see here in the second one. That's pretty much what it do. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's just the base same thing from 1, or in this case 1 because the last one was 0. So from 1 to 9, and it does backwards. So that's exactly what happens. It's just counting backwards here. And the third one, sorry, the fourth one, it does a very interesting thing. It takes from the first one here and it prints backwards. You can see right here. It prints everything backwards. So it basically prints from the for the last one to the first one. And that's, well, pretty much it. It just prints backwards. Now, this last one is not particularly useful, I could say. Well, it might be cool because, of course, it's cool. It can make a spooky text generator or something like that. But here, basically, very important. Let's say, for example, for formal reasons, for example, I need someone to, well, have a little paper where they need to, for some reason, you kind of imagine you are primitive and also the camera is turned off, but think you are kind of primitive, for example, and you really need to have something in, well, you need really to have something in text or in paper specifically. Sorry, the camera turned out anyway. So you need to really have something in paper. I don't know why, let's say bureaucracy or something like that. So you can't do it in computer. But you need, again, let's imagine it, you are working for a company with small brain, a smooth brain, caveman brain. So they need you to write something in a paper, and then it turns into a computer. Better yet, let's say that it's documents and you're taking from the old way, the paper, what you use paper, and turning it into, well, turning it into actual computer files. So you what you can do is use those forms. So you just take, for example, let's say a lawsuit, for example, report, and it's very formal. It's very look alike from the last one, the report itself. For example, I don't know about law, so I just take things from my head, and you turn everything into computer files. So you take everything, you read, let's say you put it in scan, you read everything, and then you put specific points as variables or as points from dictionary. For example, you take the name, the date, the cause. That's like that, for example. So you can do that then. And, well, here is where it would be used for. For example, here you take from specific points of the text, you take from the text 1.4. Here the specific points could be, for example, to take dates, to take, well, anything that is consistent between numbers per se, so it doesn't change. You can take here, for example, for the cause of the lawsuit. So you just put, for example, from this point forward is the cause of the lawsuit form. Here, um, here is just a funny, maybe a better way to count, maybe a funny way to count. Here, well, just, I don't know if really the correct to use, but still, there could be some. But talking about fractal effect, let's go to this one, where it's more specific. And when I say specific, is because it just basically is specialized. So if I run this one, it prints nothing because everything here is commented. But if I discomment one, I will print 7, which is weird because we are talking about springs, so why is giving me a number? Well, let's go here my new variable text, the same one but in a different context. Here is allow 5, and just below it is just how you can count it basically. So I'm counting 0 1 2 3 4 5. From 5 here is for log, so you can see exactly how 1 2 3 4 5, sorry, 1, yeah, exactly, from 0 0 1 2 3 4 5. So that's pretty much how it works. That's pretty much how the computer is here. Here's is 0, here's is 1 2 3 4 5 5 6 7 8, and then so forth, so forth. And here I'm printing, it's quite large, so let me read you text. Specifically it's printing from text dot find, which is trying to find O plus 1, pretty much means, for what I understand, is what is in front of O, I think. And it's trying to find then what the next O is. So basically what it's doing, in fractal terms, it's reading from this O, or in this specific, from this O, or from the front of this O, the first one, O. So you read from it from the second, or in this case last O. So you can read here that it has 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 characters. So here it's giving how many characters are between the first letter after the first O and, well, the last letter before the second and last O. So very important. For example, let's say I have, for example, here, um, your sign, yeah, your, let's say, your text. And for example, just a study of text. I know it's kind of frustrating writing this in Python, but still. And then you have blah, let's say blah 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 blah, and then you have here your text ends here. Or for example, it doesn't need to be text. It can be anything really. Exam, can be exams, it can be assignment. So it will read from, for example, here, your text to your text ends. So everything between, if it's shorter or larger than normally expected, it can be really infinite in size. Well, if you have a computer fast enough to handle this. So it can read between those two specific anchoring points. You can even have a special character to make sure that your computer doesn't, you know, uh, stops at the wrong spot. Of course, you could say, well, you can use variables for that. You can use inputs for that. Why they exist so? Well, it's more really if you are feeling something and they want to take your text and then turn it to a variable, or they're trying to read from a, for example, um, computer file, sorry, paper, for example, and you needed to do this in book. So you do a lot, very simple. You take the general format and you just take the variables or you turn everything into a variable. I also have here the second one, which is very interesting. I split my text into I love Python, but I splitting it from every time there is a space or a space between things. You can see I first go to I split it to I, and then love, and then Python. You can see that between those where they were split, there is there is a space. There is a space between them. If you put anything else, you can see, for example, here, you can see that it will do just one, and everything's connected together. It will split nothing because there is nothing to split. It will be just one. So basically, here I'm splitting into multiple points. It can be very interesting if you're trying to learn teach an AI, which is one of the points why I'm learning Python. So very intriguing to me because you can take a massive text and you can divide them in multiple variables, for example, and the computer will read and how those how this point differs from the other and how they connect to each other. So very interesting to learn, for example, making an AI actually learn English or Portuguese, for example. But that's pretty much what I learned Python today. If you like it, well, make sure to subscribe and like this video because well, it helps me a lot and it will help you too because I will very much every single day or most of the days. Actually, every single day I study Python, I will be turning it into a video and I will be posting into my channel. So if you really like Python, if you're very interested with the very basics, which was why I'm learning now, and you want to see exactly what is being taught on this course, well, make sure to read not just this video and the next ones, but also the last videos, so you can have a little bit more well ground up, so you can understand print variable bars. So pretty much it. Well, you can also access the course, but it's in Portuguese. So if you wanna text the Portuguese, make sure to not just see the course, but well, watch my Portuguese videos. Well, but that's pretty much it. Hope you have a nice day, and well, until next time. Bye!